Oh, Tilt, best of luck, buddy. If he can, like I said, get both of these off, he'll be up to 60 HP. He has the Shadow Bombs. See, thankfully, he didn't use all of them. So, all things considered, this isn't the worst situation, I guess you could argue, Ryan.
Yeah.
By no means do they feel comfortable, but they've been dominating in these fights.
Yeah, I mean, even if they end up going down here, like I said, I think this is the final team. There's only 2 of them left. I'm pretty sure it's the final team of 4.
Yeah.
At this point, though, they've gained such a big lead. At this point, I mean, you can hear in their comms just how much fun they're having, right? Nothing is more dangerous than when a team is having fun as they're winning. So you're going to see them. I mean, at this point, everything's going in their favor right now. They might as well get these 4 players and listen to them just screaming in the midst as rockets are flying everywhere as they attempt to get these final eliminations against all odds. They're both taken to such low health. One Shadow Bomb is going to be in the hands of Tilt. One Snipe in his hand as well. He sees the players, gets a couple shots in with the shotguns. They kind of have some sights on them right now. Starting to play this a little bit slow.
And that's the one thing that we can kind of, shift the focus toward as the snipe shot comes in.
Always a snipe.
Takes down Tilt. I will say he was very low on HP, but they've been having, I mean, the reason why they're staying alive so well in these fights is obviously due to skill, but that combat shoddy, man. Like, they can just kind of hold on to head glitches, kind of utilize a few of those structures, and just continue to dominate the opponents. Jarvis is at 14 eliminations, wants to make it 15. Not the greatest HP situation, but it doesn't matter. He takes down another opponent, and Poach, sitting here eagerly, wants to get back in the fray, wants to get back in the game, as FaZe, without question, have taken advantage over the opportunity that they have been given. And they're just feeling so good. Wait, is Tilt actually on 1 ping?
A singular ping.
Individual ping.
I don't even, like, I don't get it.
The ping is 0.
I know. No.
He is hosting the lobby.
I understand that, but I'm at 30 ping, and I'm happy with that. I'm a 0. Now, there was one time I was at 0 ping. Got 18 eliminations. Never happened in my life. Granted, it was during the food fight. I don't care. I got 18 eliminations.
I thought the breadstick was impressive. Then it hit 0. Never even seen that.
That's scary. That's another thing. Another intimidating factor if you're poaching Myth, but quick builds for Jarvis. The console building will just continue as they are waiting now for their final opponent, hide-and-seek champion. Where could he be at? We'll see whether or not they can possibly find this one soon. Bounce pad initiated, and they might have a good idea as to where this player is. But let's just go and ignore the scoreboard. It's fine.
No,
it's
you can't
cool.
ignore that.
No,
Line at 29-3.
It's all good.
About to be 30.
It's not a problem.
It ain't no problem. No, it's a problem.
It definitely is. Yeah, this guy's a sitting duck, and there it is. 14 found for Tilt, a lot more found for Jarvis. I mean, it's fair to say this is not going to be fun if you're poaching Myth. And obviously, guys, the main topic of discussion right now is a matter of where are they? Is there even a place in the map that can equate to find that many?
You already know the answer. No.
Okay.
27, come on, that is massive. And you got to be thinking, at that point in time, Tilt and Jarvis, if they come through, and they get 3 eliminations themselves just off the start, then they've got a 30 elimination lead. We need to see literally record-breaking numbers for Myth and Poach to come back on this.
Well, not only is it very, very difficult to get 30 eliminations in the first place, keep in mind, like, the FaZe boys are still on the map as well, right?
Exactly.
So we're acting as if, like, they're not even on the map, so they're going to continue to get eliminations themselves. So, I mean, I guess if you're poaching Myth, you want to hope that the Fortnite gods kind of bless you with an early drop, and then you yourself have to have an incredible performance on top of that to match the performance of Tilt and Jarvis. Let's not forget that was 30 eliminations in a single game for 2 players. That is almost a third of the map completely wiped by just one of our teams. A lot of times, like, okay, they combined for 30 kills between the 2 teams, pretty good. That was 2 players.
Yeah,
that was insane.
Whew, my goodness.
While laughing, doing it the whole time.
And they were having fun.
They were having great times. Yeah, it wasn't a matter of like, oh, they were into some easy squads. No, they were in the middle of like constant builds. They were in the midst of structures, laughing, going crazy. There were explosions everywhere, but Tilt and Jarvis are just having a heyday. The console boys are dominating on this side, along with on the bottom side. I just was given an update that I think it was Grandma and D's are up. I think it was like 20-6 over Nick Merckx and Neo. So console gang is out here. They're definitely kind of showing up, which coming from the console scene, I'm kind of proud of that. Obviously, we all kind of do. So I think if you've been a gamer for a while, you probably originated on the console. Maybe not, but regardless,
Nintendo 64, baby, Super Nintendo, console scene all day.
Yeah, I mean, hey, 34-year-old Taylor is just
come on,
showing
man.
his
I'm
age,
27, brother.
I mean, it's getting close.
Still old to everybody out there. Like, 27.
That's true.
Oh,
I mean, hey, we're getting to the point where we're getting to the point where people are like, wait, you don't play on mobile? It's like, what? Like, what's happening now? I don't know. Like,
what's a cell phone?
What?
What's a cell phone?
That's-
Back in
that's
my
true.
day.
Yeah, right?
And boys, I think as we drop into the lobby now, I think we're seeing the split that we talked about, or maybe not actually. They both. No, we're actually not seeing a split. I thought we would
So
see
he and
that they
Poach
kind of
both in-
started to look
yeah.
like they were going away, but now looks like they're both going to hit Mega Mall right now. Of course, it being a hot drop, there could be a good opportunity for maybe a couple extra players who want to go for those drones. But here we go. This is going to show us right now if there's even a chance in the world for Myth and Poach. Poach landing on a grenade. Myth opening up with a kill of his own, though. So, you know, now the deficit's 26. You know, it's getting a little more manageable, I guess, as looks like FaZe, Jarvis, and FaZe still haven't gotten a kill quite yet, but I'm sure that is going to change very soon. Not necessarily as much action as I thought we'd see kind of in the beginning of a Mega Mall.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, and this is just my opinion, I want to hear your guys' thoughts as well. I like the play. It's nice that there's obviously a hot zone on Mega Mall, but you're down basically 30, along with the fact that the enemy is going to be up consistently, and we're
And
also looking toward the
Tilt.
kill feed.
That's it.
Tilt
Look at
is
the
in
kill
there
feed.
with at least like 2 or 3. They're dominating when it comes down to Dusty Divot.
With the
But
gray AR.
But you're getting to the point whenever you're poaching Myth, and it's like, hey, we just have to like let the game play out. We're almost hoping we're allowing the game to pretty much decide how this one goes. The game's pretty much out of our hands. We have to hope that only so many things go our way. And to equate for the rest of it, I feel like they needed to play a lot more aggressive off the start. Maybe even sending Poach into Neo, sending him at least toward another area to try to find some elims. Because like we said, there's only going to be so many teams who went toward Mega Mall. Like you said, you might have, what, maybe 4 or 5 teams at the most that go toward this area. That's not enough.
Could agree with you more, right? I mean, obviously the split needed to happen. Myth goes down, and this is not the start you wanted, already having that deficit. And there it is. Poach goes down as well. Myth and Poach are out. Jarvis and Tilt moving forward.
In a dominant way.
In a dominant way. Still up. And, I mean, you know, they had, what, 27 lead going into this game. Imagine if this would have played out. How many eliminations would they get in the end?
Yeah, I don't even want to know how many kills that Tilt and Jarvis are going to find after this one's all kind of concluded with. But, I mean, Ryan, I think we could be talking like 60 range.
Yeah, I mean, if you drop, what, a 30 bomb the first game, you got to imagine they were already on a hot start, too. You got to imagine they're going to get something at least similar to that, probably at least crossing the 50 mark. So
Yeah.
definitely a huge performance by them. But it looks like we are hopping into the Nick Mercs and Neo versus Grandma and D's match, which I believe, like you said, Landon, there was
Like
a
20 to
6
yeah.
scoreline in
For
game
the
number
qualifier
1.
team, yeah.
Just, I mean, looking right now, game number 2, Grandma has another 5 kills on top of that in game number 2. So it looks like they're kind of starting off with a very, very similar opening as they did in game number 1. So if you're Nick and Neo, you got to start to make some big plays and kind of, honestly, maybe even do a split and just start to try and slay out the best you can, because it looks like Grandma and D's are doing just that once again.
Yeah, I think they might even be mirroring Neo right now, Taylor. It looks as if they're kind of on his heels, whether or not it's just for one fight or maybe the future of him. It's not a bad call. It looks as if trying to make the escape is the enemy, but he's quickly about to run into a few opponents. Neo is down for the count, and I don't believe that Nick Mercs is going to be around the surrounding area. So if that's the case, yeah, Neo is thirsted, and now it's the countdown timer that becomes a thing. Nick Mercs got to make the jaunt. Nick is also on a very low amount of HP. It's probably, what, 5-6 in total?
Right.
This is not looking good.
No, you can't afford to. Nick goes down. He has to back up. There's no way he's getting a card.
Yeah.
He's going now solo with already a deficit. What was the score? 20 to 6, something like that, right?
Yeah.
A 14 lead for the men over on Grandma and D's. It's getting out of hand.
And I mean, Grandma, we saw, had at least 5 eliminations. You see Nick right now only has 2, so you got to imagine.
Oh, no.
I think
He didn't get the medkit off.
I think Grandma and D's are even already up on this game as well. One bullet's going to kill him.
Oh,
Oh, my goodness, that ticked for 5. He had 6. Nick, he breathes another day.
No,
No, he
and
doesn't.
gone.
Just like that.
And there it is.
You
That's
can only
gonna
get
be it.
lucky so many times.
Our qualifier players, with the power of Drake behind him, managed to make the winners finals.
This is insane. This is crazy, and I'll be honest. Like Taylor, you were giving them a lot of credit. You were giving me some updates saying, "Hey, these guys have looked phenomenal. They've got so close to qualifying when it comes into the Fortnite World Cup. They have a lot of expectations upon them, and boy, are they responding as they lock in a place in winners finals now against FaZe Jarvis and FaZe Tilt.
Sure,
I'm loving this.
Yeah,
4 console players in the winners finals.
Holding it down
4
for
for
us.
4. It's insane.
seems like
and I will
gotta
say,
switch over.
regardless of who would have won, Nick Mercs and Neo also would have been a constant team.
Correct.
So, you know,
6 of 8.
I
Yeah,
was
I mean,
gonna say,
6 of 8 in the semis is not bad.
It's definitely impressive, man. That's for sure. We'll obviously be giving you guys a few bracket updates here soon. But in terms of some surprises, like I said, coming from the qualifiers last week, you know, I was kind of up on them. I was like, hey, you know, maybe a top 16, top 12 around placement would be kind of, normal. Unfortunately, they go down top 32, and we were talking about like 430-plus teams to get here is insane enough. The fact that they are performing the way that they are is super impressive. And I know, Ryan, we've been talking about this myself. Like, we've all been kind of used to this qualifier aspect when it comes into UMG tournaments. The guys who grind on UMGgaming.com are incredible. And if you guys are interested, you can feel free to visit our website, umggaming.com, possibly be involved when it comes down to this tournament.
It's free.
It's free. It's not easy to get through, that's for sure. You get 429 other teams to face off against, but if you can get here, you can have a chance, much like we are seeing right now. 3 out of the 4 players were already in the qualifiers. We have the runner-up, FaZe Tilt. He was added because he's already on FaZe. KEEMSTAR added him because he knew how talented he is. Obviously, he's here with FaZe Jarvis, and now it will be them facing off against Grandma and D's for a spot in Grand Finals. And I'll be honest, guys, I am shocked that we do not see Ghost here. I'm surprised that we don't see NRG here either.
Yeah, you don't see any of them. I mean, and even Cypher and HD, who played incredibly well last week, you don't see them here. You see these two teams, and I got to say, they are passionate. They're young, and they're wanting to go big. I love to see it. And I do want to say, D's made a very good choice. He's a former college baseball player who transitioned to Fortnite. And by the way, we know Friday Fortnite, it does make some careers sometimes. We've seen players be added onto organizations. Both of these members here are free agents. D's are, this Grandma's already been shouted out by Drake.
Yeah.
100 Thieves? I don't know.
There you go.
One thing to point out, guys, too, I mean, we always talk about, obviously, like Big said, the path to pro and all these ways to kind of show out and prove yourself. Just take a look really quick at Grandma and D's path to the winners finals. Let's take a look at kind of who they have taken out in the process. Ghost, Aiden, and Gorb. Okay, big win, right?
Yep,
then you go against Nate Hill and Funk Bomb, one of the best duos in all of Fortnite. Take them out. Then you go against FaZe Dubs and FaZe Mega, who have qualified for the World Cup 36 times. Obviously, an incredible duo on their own. Take them out. Then you go against Nick Merckx and Neo. Nick, a player who's won these tournaments. Obviously, him and Neo, a very good World Cup duo themselves. And then take them out. So their path might even be the hardest so far that I've seen out of kind of anyone on the bracket right now. They have played just a bunch of massive teams, so huge shout out to our qualifier teams. That just shows you there's still so much unknown talent out there.
They've been consistently taking out FaZe teams and not be doing it here. They've already taken out 5 members. We'll see if they can make it 7. Let's go and take a look now toward the losers bracket and see exactly how things are lining up there. So a few kind of results that are solidified, as we do see, obviously, FaZe, Nate Hill, and Funk Bomb do make it past Laserbeam and 2 Twins on Twitch. It looks as if Ghost Camo and Issa are still alive, as unfortunately Replays and Nick A30 are done for here in week number 2. The defending champions, NRG, Mr. Savage, and Benji are also up and will be facing off against FaZe Dubs and Mega, one that we've talked about how that should be a very, very hyped-up game to say the least. And it looks as if Aiden and Gorb have taken down Cypher and HD. A team who placed top 4 is out already. Aiden and Gorb, though, live to see another day taking on the defending champions from 2018, Typical Gamer and Thieves.
Mr. Savage and Benji Fish still in it, baby. You love to see it. They have literally had to fight since round number 1. And in fact, they did beat Mongrel and Mitro earlier on in the loser bracket in the second round. So that's a solid matchup, and I do think they're going to make it to the finals.
Definitely going to be a matchup of the century, right? 2 of our strongest teams in this entire event. To me, that's kind of the matchup of the losers bracket that I'm looking forward to the most. It's going to be, as Taylor likes to call it, a banger.
Yeah, banger. We have a lot of like terminology that's exclusive to Friday Fortnite. Not many people may know exactly what it is, but the chat, people who've been around since the OG days know exactly what we're talking about. But guys, like we said, we have a number of different incredible matches to come. Feel free to let us know what your thoughts are on them. Which one would you like to see? Along with staying involved in the chat, let us know why you deserve to be awarded $10,000. We'll be obviously awarding that as time goes on. So make sure to stay active in chat and let us know exactly why you do deserve it. But losers games, winners games still to come. We'll be right back as Friday Fortnite will continue right after this.
can help us reconnect. You can make America whole.
Rebuilding America isn't gonna get rid of the BTs. As long as they're still around, there's no escaping it.
But at least we'll have hope.
PlayStation.
You stole. I don't want it back, please. You can keep it. My mind's made up on who I want holding it. You're a little too close, or too far away. It's much too early, or it's far too late. Maybe I'm too old now, or just afraid that you'll walk
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Friday Fortnite 2019. It's week number 2, and of course, we're live here from the UMG studios. Myself, Lennon Leno Sanders, joined in part by Mr. Taylor Reflections Noble and Ryan, a.k.a. Ryan Fools, as the Twitter underlay would like to suggest. Obviously, guys, it has been an incredible tournament up to this point, and now we are down to our final 2 in the winner's bracket. We've got FaZe, Tilt, and Jarvis getting ready to face off against our qualifier boys of Grandma and D's.
Yeah, 2 talented teams. Very much so for the qualifier team, right? Having to beat out 430 teams just to come into this. Man, I got to say, I'm a little bit worried for them. You got the FaZe boys on the other end. Tilt and Jarvis, come on. We saw them drop a 30 bomb in the first game against Myth and Poach. And then who knows how many they would have been able to get if we would have maybe, seen the conclusion of the second game between them. But Paradise, another location we're going to. We've kind of been discussing it. And let's see if it's going to be fruitful. But this does seem to be the location Grandma and D's like to go to.
And they've been put on a show so far, Taylor. I'm telling you, I'm a believer in Paradise. I think that it's got just a ton of mats, a ton of opportunities for obviously some weapons. I mean, all kinds of things. You have those rifts that basically you go anywhere you want on the map. That's kind of my favorite part about everything about it. You can get that hotel, get some high shots in.
Yeah.
So a lot going on, and a lot of players land here as well. So to me, if they continuously land here and of course come out of that fight on top, which they've been doing all day, I think they're gonna have a pretty good shot at taking this as well. Of course, keep in mind, guys, the winner of this does go to the grand finals and gets that advantage of coming out of winners, right? Because it's a double elimination tournament, having that kind of 2-series lead is so important. We saw it last week. The bracket was reset and everything. Like, when those situations come into play, that makes things so much different. And having those 2 chances to win just make your life so much easier.
Definitely do. And like we said, when it comes down to what's on the line, right? I mean, this is guaranteed cash. If you make it forward, possibly, like I said, you get the opportunity, rather, when it comes down to the grand finals. And my biggest question right now is we're actually going to see possibly a snipe. Do not tell me he's going to land. That might be even a... Is anyone in there?
Yeah.
Oh,
definitely.
there is. Okay, I thought for a minute it was a roll. Can he hit the
my
shot? Oh
gosh,
my
you're
gosh,
nasty.
it looks so good from Tilt's perspective. Unfortunately, not able to make it land. As we'll see exactly the builds come through from Tilt.
Okay.
Has the trap a little bit late to call it in. So all things considered, now back to ground level player just exists on top. Going for the quick edit on his terms. A wall. Not able to make it land. Tries to go for the trap. Does it go? I don't believe it does.
He
So
didn't get the roof place,
with that in mind, looks as if now back in action, taking him down. And that's going to be the easiest one up to this point. Another player just in front and Tilt. Holding on to that high ground advantage. Cone placed down.
Yeah,
Trying to play this
kinda
one so
waiting,
carefully.
This guy's kind of trapped. In the meantime, he's going to go and hopefully break this build, get down, and really just at a standoff. This player wants to kind of edit through, but yeah, unfortunately, he gets caught with the pants down and goes and gets eliminated. It is what it is. 4 eliminations for the man of Tilt, a couple for Jarvis himself. And a bit of a slower start for Grandma and D's, sitting at 3. But you got to be thinking both of these guys are relatively even, and their rotation seems to be Mega Maw. You'd be thinking there'd be a couple people over here, but not spotting anybody as of yet. Meanwhile, it's not, the action is going to be nonstop for Tilt and Jarvis. They're already in another engagement.
So players right in his sight. He has one right below him. Gets the knock on those players. Has shots coming in from above, though. Has to be careful. Does a good job at kind of building defensively right now. He has 2 launch pads as well, so if things get kind of dicey, he kind of has that get-out-of-jail-free card as well. So always one thing to keep in mind as well. Jarvis coming to help him out. Player being shot in the air by something. I'm not sure if that was
flint knock.
a flint knock or a impulse or something.
The flint knock just actually received a, not necessarily a buff, but kind of a balance in a way. So now the flint knock does blow the opponent's back as it is intended to do, much more than it was earlier. So that was kind of a new addition, or a new balance rather, in the 9.20 update they just released.
There's Tilt making use of one of those launch pads. I think he sees a couple players over in Neo. Tilted, going to use that slipstream to kind of close that gap. On the other end, though, you see Grandma and D's both getting a little couple engagement over in Dusty.
Looks as if D's coming from the side takes down a lonely little referee. But with that knock means that there are only more teammates to come given the ping. And now the teammates are made aware. Player holding on to that high ground, tossing in a few frags, and it will do some damage, though, to Grandma. Has to slowly back up, and it looks as if those storms placed down. And he needs to kind of fade off just toward his west, and he will be able to accomplish that. So no major problem. Enemy not affected, though, by the flint knock pistol. Despite that, though, having to wait a little bit of time. Player starts to engage into the quickest reaction in the land as Grandma manages to find that one, manages to take it. And now it's time to enjoy the rounds at the cozy campfire from one side to the other. Dominance being shown in Dusty, dominance being shown toward the outskirts of Neo. And my goodness, all 4 players staying up, seeing success, and continuing to roll on with the eliminations.
And this is the winners finals. Both teams incredibly solid, and eliminations are lighting up the kill feed on the left. And nothing, I mean, honestly, we had to expect this, right, between both of these squads, and whoever ends up being in the grand finals, getting that spot, it's going to be sitting pretty. Like you said, you never want to have to fight your way through loser bracket. Despite that, though, Mr. Savage Benji Fish did make it happen last time, but it's a lot of work, right?
Oh, it absolutely
and you have to play
is,
a lot of games. So this is a great opportunity for both teams. Controller Gang's going at it. Edits coming in. He's going to go ahead and, unfortunately, he makes a door. He did not want to do that, but he is going to capitalize, get the player down to about 20, 30 health, and the elimination down low. And plenty of launch pads for mobility, and still more engagements being had as Jarvis, I do believe, is in a couple himself.
Yeah, Tilt currently with 9 eliminations, going to start to heal up a little bit. Take a look at his kit right now, Taylor. You see he has obviously the AK or the AR. There's, hold on, Jarvis actually goes down to the top. Is he going to be able to get these eliminations and save his teammate? Like I was about to say, he has a pretty good kit. He has that combat, has the drum gun, and that heavy snipe. 3 of the most deadly weapons in Fortnite right now. He's kind of surveying, waiting for these players to make a mistake.
Yes, sir.
Puts that heavy snipe to use and gets the kill with it. You can see the other player might have been jumping out with a launch pad or something. This could be the opportunity for Tilt to save his teammate. The other player's going to have to waste his time by rezzing his teammate. So now it looks like Tilt will be able to get the res off on Jarvis. So huge play by Tilt, putting that heavy snipe to work. And now Jarvis should be alive to help his teammate out. Grandma and D's, I'm sure we're so happy to see that, but it was going to be short-lived as the FaZe boys are back at full force. And on the other end, Grandma is in a fight of his own, gets the first knock, takes out the second player. That's going to be his 8th and 9th elimination. As we have, from what we can see right now, we'll have a score update pretty soon. What we can see right now is a pretty close game.
Definitely doing a lot of work right now. Like we said, the Storm not too far away, so rotations are being made. But guys, it's a matter of just overall dominance from both sides. This is what we saw last week, Taylor, when it came down to the winners finals. It was Ghost having some incredible moments, and we were back to NRG, and they were having some highlight plays. It wasn't just a game. It was more of a highlight reel opportunity
honestly,
that both teams were displaying, and we're seeing that exact same thing go down right here and right now. Grandma and Co., the qualifier teams coming in and putting on a show, dominating right now at 9 eliminations just for Grandma up to this point. We've seen D's have some fantastic performances as well, but they are just seeking opponents. They have no problem, going off for a little bit of vacation, kind of splitting off from time to time. It's not a big deal for these guys because of the amount of talent that exists here, the amount of momentum that is carrying on from all of their prior matchups. And I mean, Ryan, we were even bringing this up, like the amount of teams that these rosters have gone through. I think it was for the qualifier team of Grandma and D's, they were going through FaZe team after FaZe team after FaZe team. Now they're facing off against Jarvis and Tilt. Same run for those guys. They have been seeing a ton of success. And as we talk about success, Jarvis dominating in the kill feed. He finds at least 3. And Tilt, he's just watching all the madness breakdown.
This is working its way out to be a 40-plus elimination game between these two. I mean, and I kind of called it, right? We already saw 30 before from the side of Tilt and Jarvis. You can only imagine how Grandma and D's are going to be able to come out big in the end. We're getting down to the remaining scraps of players. Circle will collapse down, and everyone's kind of scattered at this point. They want to just find each individual player. And honestly, a split, coming away from your partner is a hugely beneficial thing, especially with the talent in this lobby. Given the fact that anybody, honestly, with the split, nice bunny hop into the shotgun, but a split's not bad at all because each of these players are so talented, they can wipe a full squad easily.
It's absolutely called for.
Here's Tilt calling out. You heard it. I got all of them. That seems to be kind of the story with both of these teams, just continuously wiping squad after squad and FaZe, not taking their foot off of the gas thus far. You can see on the other end, Grandma doing a little bit of the same, trying to kind of survey the map. He's kind of separated himself a little bit here, heading on over towards the snowy side of the map, seeing if he can maybe find anyone building a snowman. He seems to have found someone, and he get the laser shots in before the player starts to build. Almost finishes him off. That player must be so low, and somehow gets damage in the player on the mountain.
I feel like every single time we watch the combat shoddy be put in play, it's just even from farther ranges, we're seeing HP get taken. I think it was only like 11 or 12 or 13, but still, though, at that range, it's definitely impressive. Graham on the low ground, his teammate on the high, and they are just dominating everybody in sight. I will say, though, Jarvis ends up getting dropped, and that's going to be another opportunity for our qualifier players to take down a lonely enemy. Going for a few minis. It looks as if Tilt possibly going to go for the revive if need be. Obviously going to try to be aware of that player first, try to go for the kills at first hand. Going for the engagement, and Grandma will take it down, as now it's a matter of checking out the score lines. Obviously, we see Grandma right here finishing off with 10. I know based on the lack of streams, it's going to be difficult for us to try to add up the scores. So regardless, though, it was just a dominant performance from the start of this game to the end. And we've been seeing, you know, all players dropping down. We've been seeing, you know, quite a few matches where we've seen quite a few reboot vans be involved. Not the case here, gentlemen. There was not really much of a case for it. It was just highlight play after highlight play. These two teams are just running through everybody in sight.
Yeah, this is probably one of the most dominating performances that I've seen from any team so far, even from the first week of Friday Fortnite, because I thought, you know, Issa and Kemo were impressive with how aggressive in the way they were playing. I thought Mr. Savage and Benji Fish were impressive, right? But, I mean, these two guys coming out of nowhere, especially our qualifier team, and they are looking unstoppable. Like I said, I guarantee you we were very close to a 40 elimination game between these two, because, I mean, they literally were wiping just the I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah, I mean, for me, you know, we're getting a score update right now. I believe it was 20-19 in favor of FaZe, so we didn't quite hit the 40 mark, but we were just one elimination off. Just an absolutely monstrous performance from both teams. And to me, what makes this matchup so much fun to watch so far is just we've seen time and time again just how aggressive both of these teams are, right? So to see them on the same server together, see them also just pushing player after player, it's just been incredibly fun to watch.
Oh, it is. I mean, this is just, it's a pleasure to watch. Like, it's a pleasure to watch these guys getting their opportunity, kind of getting their chance to really showcase their skills. And obviously, I'm more of the lines talking about the, you know, the qualifier squad in this instance. But still, though, I mean, it's just been, it's been insane. Like, I really wasn't sure what to expect when it kind of came down to these two teams. Like, not necessarily that we weren't expecting it. Like, I obviously thought that, at least in my opinion, Tilden and Jarvis were kind of my sleeper team. I'll be frank, didn't expect them to get all the way to the grand finals. But these teams are obviously showing the talent that they possess. If no one really thought that they were on their radars in previous, they definitely are now. And if the qualifier team, I mean, it's fair to say the amount of viewers that are existing right out there for Friday Fortnite, we were talking about like breaking numbers, 10 million unique viewers last week. You can only imagine what it's going to be for this week. These guys, they're in the spotlight, and they are showcasing themselves. Incredibly talented team up to this point, have looked great. We've been seeing number of different highlight reel opportunities, and they're taking it to the FaZe boys. Granted, they're coming into this one elam down, but let's be real. It's basically a tie game, all things considered. Right? So that one elam may make somewhat of a difference. But regardless, though, as we will fly in here for game number 2, who will take the advantage? Who will book their ticket into the grand finals? It all gets decided here and now. FaZe only up by 1 frag, and we'll see if that can make all the difference.
And I pointed out before, guys, if you're an org owner in the chat, you're watching Grandma and D's, free agents, free for the taking. Hey, listen, they're a talented team, especially when it comes to these elimination base. They've been performing well in the World Cup. They are a duo to watch out for, pushing forward. Dusty Divot, Tilt, Jarvis heading over here. Jarvis a little bit late. I think he was maybe thinking about potentially going over towards Salty. But look at Grandma already getting us started. That's going to be a knock plus an elim.
And you can see Tilt getting that snipe. Wait, Grandma goes down.
What?
Grandma goes down. Deez is taking low as well.
Oh, my
Does pick that elimination up.
Not like this. Not like this. I just shouted them out. I just said,
oh, no.
org owners, you got to be watching out for this duo.
Caster curse, Taylor? Did it happen?
The ultimate caster curse apparently coming through, forced to pop the fire.
Not yet. There's still hope. This is D's and Grandmas we're talking about.
Well, yeah.
Incredibly skilled players. We've been watching them wipe teams all day.
Oh, but when your resort is to go to the bottom of blue, to be in that basement, you know you're in a lot of trouble. But we've seen a lot of great plays come from the basement of Bunker.
The problem is, like you said, the players know he's there, and his point of exit is just rough. As he finds a player right on top of him, gets the kill. That was close, but he gets the elimination. That could have spelled trouble, but he lives once again. Has the reboot card as well, so they're not out of this yet.
They're definitely not. It's looking pretty good if you're D's. Like I said, just fading off in the distance. Another pick is found, and somehow he is managing to stay up in Salty Springs despite all of the opposition, despite all of the negatives that could be coming his way, losing quite a bit of HP when it comes down to the shields, goes for the edit, but still does have the high ground. Hearing stink bombs go off in the distance, possibly taking down one, but gets shot just in the chest as he drops. That probably should be good.
That's
for
it.
FaZe to walk away with it. You're hearing the call-outs come through from Tilt and Jarvis, and just like that, they have booked their ticket to the grand finals after what was a highlight reel in Game 1. One of the fastest matches, one of the fastest maps that we have seen in Game number 2. And my word, that was a sight to behold, as we now have one team locked in, and now it is all about the losers bracket. Which team can make it through? And like I said, if you are the boys from the qualifier squad, you got to be holding your head high. I know they're a little bit frustrated after that loss, but they've got some time to think about it, some time to kind of go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
We'll see if they can continue on and maybe come back for a rematch, much like we saw last week.
Chat, like you've been doing all the day long. FaZe up in the chat. Can I get it? FaZe now in the finals. Tilt Jarvis, such a talented duo. You said your sleeper team. I got to say, I'm very impressed by you to say that was your sleeper team coming into it.
I got to say, like, I've been watching a lot of gameplay from Jarvis. I've actually been subscribed to his YouTube channel for a while.
Watch out.
But yeah, he's looked incredible. And I was watching, a lot of his gameplay when he was playing with Ricegum last week. He was even kind of playing in a duo squad game. Dropped 23 by himself. So if that's any indicator, I think it was kind of an easy prediction for myself to kind of make that claim. And I know Tilt, obviously professional Fortnite player for FaZe Clan already, came in as a runner-up to the team he actually just defeated now.
Yep.
So there's a positive in that end. Kind
Revenge.
of a revenge
Yep.
essentially in that case. But, it was kind of, at least for me, I thought both of them kind of have something to prove. Jarvis didn't really have the greatest placement, one that I thought he had the ability to get. But, yeah, man, it's definitely impressive to say that, hey, these control players, back-to-back weeks, it was Kamo and Issa, for Ghost Gaming last time. Now it's the FaZe boys. So, like I said, both of these organizations, we talk about FaZe, Ghost constantly kind of involved with, grabbing players, being, one of the most premier esports organizations in Fortnite, having teams in back-to-back weeks in the grand finals.
And hopping on board right now, looks like with the, speaking of Ghost, there he is. Ghost, Camo, and Ghost Issa versus Ninja and Tim the Tapman. It looks like Ninja and Tim both taken down right now. It looks like Camo and Issa are hunting down the last player. Only 3 remain in the lobby. You can currently see Camo has 13 eliminations by himself. We don't know quite how many Issa has, but they are hunting that very last kill.
Jetzt wird Choken einfach vor Ninja Stream.
Camo and Issa hanging out just toward the racetrack. Like we said, not many players do remain. In fact, it's only going to be 1. And they're laughing. They're feeling good. I think they might have even pickaxed. I'm not exactly sure what happened for the closeout. But in the end, they're dancing. They're feeling confident. It looks as if Tim finishes with 2, Ninja with 6. And I think it's
21 to 8.
it's pretty much Camo who outscores them by himself. So, like I said, for the runners-up from last week, I think they're feeling good. Unfortunately for Ninja and Tim, they're definitely having a mountain to climb for next game. Unless that was match 2. I know we're still trying to figure out an official word of that.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, might be a win for Ghost and Co. But they're feeling confident regardless.
Well, we'll definitely have to see Ninja and Tim. I got to say, from Ninja and PewDiePie, right? Making it so far in the winners as they did, of course. PewDiePie having to leave, but joined by Tim. If Ninja makes it through Friday Fortnite to the winners, imagine that, right? I mean, you got to be thinking, from PewDiePie to Tim, you're playing with content creators and you're still making it work. A beautiful thing.
I mean, we know Ninja's a fantastic Fortnite player, obviously. Fantastic at pretty much any game he touches. The guy just one of the most natural gamers I think we've ever seen. So it wouldn't be no surprise to me how far he makes it in this tournament, right? And of course, it's been pretty cool that he got to play with Pewdie, and then of course Tim too, just fantastic personalities to kind of complement him. Of course, though, he is up against 2 incredible players, right? 2 players from Ghost who are also, I believe, already qualified for the World Cup themselves. I think Ghost,
Issa and Camo?
Ghost has so many Fortnite players.
Yeah.
I can't always keep up with which ones
Issa and
are
Camo have
qualified, which
qualified.
ones are, but I do think they already are
Yeah.
qualified. So again, 2 incredible, talented players there as well. So they got to get through that hump first. But like I said, Taylor, if they manage to get through those, that would be an awesome story.
I got to point out something. I was taking a brief little look at the losers bracket really quick. I know we're getting ready to hop into another matchup here soon, but I was taking a look at the losers bracket. Mr. Savage and Benji Fish are done. They
Oh,
actually
come on, don't tell me
end
that.
up getting taken down by Dubs and Mega and losers round 4, as Dubs and Mega will now face off against Typical Gamer and Thieves. But what a shocking result that is, man! Like, what an insane kind of result that we have in terms of the defending champions going down as early as they did. I'll be honest, that was a result that I was expecting for Dubs and Mega last week. And that's the thing that we've talked about consistently, Ryan, is, it takes a while for, a lot of these qualifier teams, or excuse me, not the qualifier teams, but a lot of these guys who are kind of newer to the format, give them a week, right? Give them a little bit of time to kind of get used to this public game format of which locations to go toward, how aggressive do you want to play. That's usually an indicator for why a lot of our top teams struggles, because they're just not used to the format. So that could be the case here for Dubs and Mega. It just took them a week, and they've already taken down the defending champions and are sitting somewhat pretty in the losers bracket.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those matchups that no matter what the result is, you're not surprised, right? I mean, if either one of those duos come out on top, by no means is there any form of upset there. It's literally potentially like the two best duos out right now, right? There's, of course, so many World Cup qualifications across the board on both of those teams. I like the point you made, maybe kind of week to week getting better at the format. We saw that kind of during the first kind of season or year of Friday Fortnite as well. Teams start to kind of learn some strategies, learn how to kind of navigate these kill race formats. So definitely could be the case there. As of course, someone like FaZe does, to not have him far in the bracket just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't, that's for sure. Of course, we are referencing losers bracket games, which that's all we're going to be up to right now until the grand finals. But right now, obviously, we do have Nate Hill and Funk Bomb currently going up against FaZe, Sway, and Valkyrae in losers round 4. Winner of this game, I believe, will play the winner of Ninja, Tim the Tatman, and Ghost Camo and Ghost Issa. So a lot on the line. We'll see how this game obviously will kind of play out, but I'm impressed, right? FaZe, Sway, and Valkyrae, I didn't really know what to expect for them kind of coming into this. They had a great losers bracket when it came down to last tournament. So that definitely could be the case, but boy, this is not going to be an easy team to go past. We know the power of Nate Hill and Funk Bomb.
And you can imagine if that bow was shot just in that moment when the wall was built. Yeah, you would have taken a lot of damage. But unfortunately, we do lose a player at the top. Valkyrie does go down, and Sway comes in for the hero play with just 43 health. 7 eliminations to his name. Valkyrie sitting at 0 herself, so that is definitely not the start you want. But with that being said, the reboot card can get picked up, and we will be back to square one with both players playing it out. Still plenty of players in the lobby remaining, a lot of eliminations to be had, and we'll see how it goes through.
Is it me, or is Sway not picking up the reboot card?
He's definitely not.
It says expires in 40 seconds, and you look at the map, they're right next to it.
I don't know.
I don't know if he maybe accidentally forgot to pick it up.
It's too early in this game to do that. It's way too early. You need to get your teammate up. There's no reason to leave it behind. I could understand if there was, 20 eliminations total. Maybe, the circle's getting, pretty close. Maybe your teammates are finding constant eliminations, but they're all in salty, and the reboot vent is right there. There's no reason not to get it.
Yeah, I'm definitely a little confused as to why Sway would not pick up the card. I don't know, maybe we're missing something. Maybe it's some kind of strategy we're not thinking of.
Unless it was glitched out, which could be a thing we saw last week, right?
Maybe
he couldn't pick it up.
That's possible.
I'm not 100% sure that definitely could be the case, but like I said, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. We'll say that there was maybe an issue for it, but yeah, definitely would be an odd situation if you don't go for the reboot card in a situation that's very clear you could have made that happen. So in this situation, though, if you're a fan of FaZe, you're kind of happy, but also kind of sad, right? Because you have 3 FaZe members who are all up right now.
Yeah.
But majority is currently winning out as Nate Hill, Funk Bomb sitting pretty well when it comes down to this game. He's making the rotation now here toward Dusty Divot, going for a few more of those mats as Funk Bomb, first one to go for a few engages, has that boom bow ready to fire as the lava sits just below. A very cinematic moment for the time. It looks as if he might have his first shot. Can he make it land? And yes, 1 for 1, looking great. Nate Hill just off in the distance, some support fire coming in from Funk Bomb. You love to see plays like that happen as FaZe, like you said, these two guys, they're used to teaming up with each other. They know exactly how this is like, and trying to go for the revive, not going to happen on Funk Bomb's watch. Lovely play coming through as he's now up to 4.
One thing I love about this duo is they seem to have the most natural chemistry and the most natural teamwork out of, to me, I mean, I watch a lot of these guys. They have just an unspoken teamwork and unspoken chemistry between them that makes them so fun to watch. They play together for so long. They've been seeing success since, I believe, the first set of the skirmishes, right?
Yeah,
They just have been so consistent in every single tournament, and so that's what makes them so fun to watch for me. And of course, a tournament like this, that kind of teamwork, especially when you're in kind of 2v4 situations, can be so important.
Valkyrie.
Looks like Valkyrie full disconnected.
Yeah, she's already left. And
Sway has 11 kills on his own too. I mean,
Sway's tearing it up.
He's holding down the fort. I'm not sure maybe if this is game 2 and they're down by too much. I'm not sure what it is, but
could be.
You see Sway in the kill feed just turning up.
All right, well, building up. Nate Hill. See if he'll be able to find a player, maybe work his way over towards the slipstream. But I got to say, regardless of the scoreline, Sway is tearing it up, and you can only imagine if Valkyrie would have stayed up.
Well, I think I heard Nate just say we're up, and I couldn't hear what the word was.
Right,
he said we're up something, and they seemed pretty casual about it, so I'm assuming that maybe in game number 1 they
Oh,
kind of went up by
yep.
a lot. As Sway just gets
I love-
absolutely
I love the
banged by a
sound there.
ball. Yeah.
Thoop. Like that was kind of the situation for Sway. A headbutt and Neo tilted, and despite that though, 11 eliminations.
Yep.
Playing well. I know we were kind of calling it out, but just my goodness, this guy is an absolute don. Another controller player, and I gotta say, I was watching a few highlights from FaZe Sway. Didn't get to watch him play last week. I've seen Friday Fortnite with Valkyrie, but he is one of the most insane builders that I've seen from a controller. And we've seen some talented players. We're talking about Nick Merckx, we're talking about Aiden, obviously the controller players that we have, existing right now, FaZe Jarvis and Co sitting in the finals, but he is one insane builder, and that could be the main reason why they had such an insane losers bracket run last week. I mean, they kind of started off slow. I think they got knocked down in winners round 1 by Tory Lanez and written by Ray, and they later took down teams like Gotaga and Mikolo, Typical Gamer and Thieves, along with Replays and Nick A30. So they have the potential to make something happen. I will say, all things considered, based on the result, based on the confidence being shown from one side in comparison to the other, their run may be ending here shortly, but it would be versus a very respectable opponent.
I said it's coming through. You see him. He's going to go ahead and take control of this wall. Great job. No turret to place down,
Ooh,
but for some
goodness.
reason, the player drops down with the roof piece. That's not what you want to do in that situation. And,
I think that was Nate that
okay, it
dropped
was
that.
him. You're right. Okay, I was about to say that was an odd play, but that was a heads-up play, I guess, for Nate Hill.
Yeah, I mean, those situations, when it comes to like these pro players playing in these tournaments, those kind of close quarter situations where it comes down to kind of like playing that wall and breaking the wall versus
Sure.
placing items, like they do that so much.
Oh,
and
we caught the edge.
Nate Hill ended up taking a great fall.
That is unfortunate.
There
I think I think his foot
Yeah,
caught the
it
edge and it
did.
kind of registered. I've not seen that happen too much. Obviously, on the Funk Bomb stream, it's not too bad. He's going to go for the rest. Just a little minor hiccup, but nothing too bad. And that's
casually drinks the Starbucks as he's reviving him too. It's another day in the office for this duo.
Yeah, I think they're feeling very comfortable with the lead that they have. Sway's kind of slowed down quite a bit. Not because of his doing, just nobody being found at this point. Still a lot of area where these players can be.
And I will say, too, I mean, obviously considering the result, where we're obviously thinking that this one is going to go the way of Nate Hill and Funk Bomb, they're going to need a little bit of a calmness right now because the team that they're going to ready to face off against is actually going to be Camo and Issa. So I would kind of take this. I drink your Starbucks now. Kind of be ready to focus up because you're going to need it. That's for sure. Camo and Issa going down the way that they did kind of earlier on in the bracket surprised a lot of people, including, I think, all three of us here on the couch. So all things considered, I think that they're going to kind of chill out right now, kind of be aware of that, maybe get a few call-outs underway because they're going to have a gauntlet coming up soon.
Definitely already kind of see Sway using that ball to kind of just survey the map. See that strategy used so many times by our players in these kill race tournaments. Get as high as you can see as much of the map as possible, and then when you see a player, you dive bomb on them. You can see him just getting high as he can, trying his best to just find anyone on the map at this point. Like we said, it sounded like Nate Hill and Funk Bomb were up quite a bit. They seem pretty casual, but you never know what can happen,
Yep.
right? Sway has been slaying out himself. He has 11 eliminations to his name. You can see it looks like on the other end, Funk Bomb has found a few players of his own. Seeing the big old, I'm gonna keep calling it the stink bomb on steroids right now.
Okay, hey,
As
it's
a storm
fair.
tilts in front of him, right? I mean, look at the AOE on that.
Oh my gosh,
takes
takes
a
a,
little bit of fall,
lot
yeah.
of fall damage, and he's going to have to now fight off this opponent who luckily tries to go full send with the shotgun and unintentionally gives up high ground, but out of mats.
Runs out of mats.
Is going to be funkin', so he's going to get tagged up. So now he's going to have to do a ground war with this opponent. Luckily gets him white, able to get the knock. Opponent's feet's just up ahead, and he gets the tag through the crack. Heads up play. Nate comes in and gets to knock himself some shots from the other distance. Luckily, Nate's going to have some mats and be able to build the wall, and he's going to go ahead and add some added protection. He's going to call the flank. Finish is coming through, and we're now going to get to see a replay. And this breakout is going to be very important, right? He's going to go ahead and back up. Dodges to Dynamite, comes through. Does the full elim come through? No, it does not. And unfortunately, it looks as if he's going to be very weak himself. But Funk has been dropped. Can't play the life. He goes down. Now it's a question of, did they have enough to keep Sway at bay?
I want to hear what their communication is actually for the moment. Let's see.
teleported down.
It seems as if everything's kind of, kind of chill for the most part. I think
To tie.
I just missed
Said he
it.
needs
So I think he needs 15 to tie. So,
He has 4 above us.
or maybe 10.
He needs 15 to tie.
Oh, he needs 15 to tie.
Is that
so
it? Okay,
well,
that's all.
So
there's 16
Well, does
players
he
left
mean-
that he could get.
does he mean
so.
15 of the remaining 17? I assume because if he
Yeah.
needs 15 eliminations, I mean he's right on. He's knocking on the door. So I assume
Yeah.
I would imagine they'd be feeling a lot
right.
less positive.
Yeah, no,
a
you're
lot
right,
less
you're right.
calm. If,
Yeah.
But you know, you never know. I mean, hey, Nate Hill just might be a chill guy. I mean, he seems to be like one.
He has the Rick and Morty stream thing. So the stream alerts. There you go. So that's one other reason I'm a huge fan of him. Outside of the fact that he's absolutely incredible at Fortnite.
That's true. Let's see what Sway can do, though. Like I said, this is kind of just a highlight reel for him. We'll see what he can try and provide. Looks as if he's doing some damage off the break, taking another down. That'll be the 15th. He's still taking some shots from the skies just above the mountaintop. Controller at hand, doing everything he possibly can.
I mean, he is
going
playing
for a few
so
minis.
well landed.
Oh, yeah, he absolutely. I mean, he's making a case like, hey, like, guys, be aware of me, right? I mean, if I wasn't at such a deficit right now, we really could have a solid chance. And I said, watch these, like, watch the builds. This guy is just unbelievable. You give him enough resources, he'll put on a show. Obviously, the shot is just only another positive of his overall gameplay. Quickly takes high ground. The enemy is just staggered at the amount of brick that's been placed. It's a lovely structure.
Of course.
And one that obviously gets utilized in a rift to go. Does Sway try to go for the engage? No, because there's still a fight progressing just toward his west.
I mean, imagine you're the public player, then you see that coming at you, right? I guess I kind of agree with this choice of Rift. I mean, you know that you would absolutely have no chance against him.
Yep.
Just like that, the other players have the same fate. This time, though, he is going to join them in the Rift, and he is going to chase them down.
Let me say this. Two things are guaranteed when it comes to Fortnite. You get sniped when you're least expecting it, and every time you get opponents in front of you and your life is on the line, your tournament life is on the line, they're always going to have a rift to go to get away from you. Those two things are always guaranteed when it comes to Fortnite.
I don't know how it always happens. I mean, like
Every time.
we were spot
Every
on
time.
last week. It happened literally every time. So that's rather unfortunate. But hey, this is
Hey, I'm not going to lie.
Sway is entertaining
I was
us.
say, like,
17 elims, and he still has 15 more players. He can break some records.
saying
here.
Nate said he needed 15. He's gotten a few kills since then. There's still a few on the map. I
Yeah.
mean, we've seen some
Can you
crazy things
imagine?
happen. I mean, hey, very, very unlikely, but you never know.
Oh,
There's that snipe you're talking about,
Telling
Taylor,
you,
when,
if he
when
would've
you
got
least
sniped, I'm
expected.
telling you, that quote is so true.
as soon as he starts to engage, I'm just waiting for all like 9 rift to goes this to be deployed. But Sway coming from the skies. We'll see what he can try and do here when it comes down to the divot. Storm starting to come in here soon. One shot, one knock. Lovely stuff coming through from Sway as that is number 18.
Oh, break it down, break it down.
Trying to go for the high ground, places down a few cones, decides going back up. Can he take high ground advantage? Decides to go for a different point of view, takes a shot in the process, so has a few minis if he needs to utilize them. Placing down cones, but overall possesses the advantage and knows that, hey, he can kind of take a little bit of time to reset. He's trying to look through all points, or rather all perspectives, to be aware of those builds that could be coming in here soon. Takes the extra mini, trying to escape Flintlock, nearly used from the opponents, but he's hanging on well here, guys.
Tough position. This player is definitely good who he's going against. I mean,
It's a sweaty pub kid.
it definitely 100%. Now he's got to, kind of battle it out. But the thing is, you got to be thinking, the more time he wastes on this
Oh my
engagement, which he
gosh.
has to, is more of an opportunity that some players are going to drop off, and he needs every elimination in this lobby. So with that being said, he can't waste that much time here, but I mean, he's kind of forced to. Luckily, the drop comes through, and that is going to be his 19th elimination of this game, ladies and gentlemen.
There's
I'm
no one else that's dying.
Landon, I'm pretty sure that when Nate said he needs 15, I think that Sway had 14.
Yeah.
Since
but
then,
look,
that's
look at the kill feed.
So he would have needed
oh,
10 out of the
man.
remaining 14, which he said no one, I mean, by the caster said no one was dying. So it was looking like, okay, finds another player. I mean,
Now, Sway is how old?
I don't know.
He's young, isn't he? So I'm pretty sure. I got to say,
I mean, he's in school.
he's-
according to
well,
Keemstar.
yeah,
I don't know
so-
if that's high school, college.
Oh, I'm pretty sure high school if his mom is getting him out of it. But
mean,
I got it.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. You know,
not
you
in a
never
car if he's in high school, you know?
I'll tell you what, he definitely has a career to make some more money. That's for sure.
I'm
Absolutely.
FaZe for a
That's
reason,
without que-
right?
I mean,
Be
he's
rolling-
obviously a very
rolling.
popular YouTuber as well. Just a incredible talent. That's without question. But what a run this guy has made. Like we said, 21 eliminations. I mean, I'm having a great time just watching him by ourselves. Like normally it's like, oh, we get to watch one player just kind of play things out. But no, this is an impressive run, one that we're not going to see happen very often, if often at all. And let's watch how he decides to go ahead and take down this entire squad. I have ultimate confidence in Sway. Like I said, has quite a few resources to his name, an inventory that would impress quite a few people. Goes for the quick turn. Unfortunately, loses a lot of HP, so 50 now. Gonna get back up to 100 with these minis. Trying to reset, trying to get back to full strength, and I think I just heard a rift to go. So there's that.
Just like that, Taylor. You
Every time.
mentioned-
Every time. You know what? Shoot the player once, rift to go. I got to get out of here. This is too
Hey,
crazy
man,
moment.
They're playing
Like-
smart, man. Got Start
Start hyperventilating. I got to go. I got to go.
play your life.
It's like, I got to go.
some smart esports play, right?
Every time.
Play your life.
Yes,
Whoa.
well, they played it very well, apparently. Sway already shooting him in the back. He's on full pursuit.
I
They're
can only
going.
imagine what the enemy's thinking. This guy is is not fair.
I think if he kills the remaining,
Sway, stop it!
I think if he kills the remaining 8, they tie. Again, that's a big if.
Well, I thought we saw a
Capital.
couple of eliminations. I gotta say, if you're fucking Nate Hill, regardless of the situation, if you win, imagine if there was a reboot. There was a reboot.
Did he just take down the bush?
In
he
the
didn't.
air?
Okay, I don't think he did.
The flying bush.
Oh, the bush is still alive. Do not tell me the bush is going to
The
be the final
flying
boss.
Bushman.
This cannot happen. Sway.
Oh, watch the storm though. The storm is moving in.
Oh.
Someone pops. The storm flip. He's gonna get away. What a break off the bottom he had.
Sway.
Of course,
quit
Glider
it.
redeploys. He is making a show out of these players. One still remains. He's got plenty of mats to make it work. Campfire's coming out, and he's just gonna chill
Oh, he's cozy.
for the time
He is
being.
cozy.
I think that even if he gets all 3, loses
I
by 1.
don't care if he loses. He is still a dominant player in my book.
This is an absolutely incredible. This has been poetry in motion, but it looked like he had a chance.
Romeo and Juliet. This
I mean,
is amazing.
this is artwork, Taylor.
This is
What we're seeing is just beauty.
Vincent Van Gogh.
This is incredible.
chopping ears off.
I am. Oh,
Mike
look at
Tyson.
That. Hey, look at that, guys. Another rift to
Wait,
go.
what's
that's,
that, Taylor?
That's awesome. This
Sorry.
is just
Oh
fantastic.
yeah, I gotta get out of here, man. It's a rift to go.
Has he taken more rift to goes than kills? I have no idea.
I don't know who this guy is.
There's
a
a
bush.
bush is back.
Another
Oh,
bush.
the bush is a beast, though.
HP from the backside. Still 3 players left. That would be 28 eliminations. Double trap for good measure.
And
Hey,
he gets
enjoy
him
it.
with it.
Enjoy it.
Now it's the Bushman versus Sway.
This is
The
incredible.
player drops.
What can't this man do?
Oh my gosh.
God.
27 eliminations. Valkyrie, why'd you leave?
There's the bush.
Everybody left, actually. Or no, there we go. Sway. Did I win? Buddy,
I didn't even know he had the ability to speak.
I'm going to say, regardless if you did or not, Sway, you're a hero in my book. But with that reboot van, though, because someone revived.
Valkyrie, I think I might have just won the game. Come back, please.
Valkyrie hosted another stream, too.
Oh my.
We were just
goodness.
told to
No
check,
way.
check
Hold
the
on.
bracket.
I got it here. 1 second. Let's,
Valkyrie hosted another streamer. She's like, okay, I'm about to yoink those viewers back. Please come back to my stream because me and Sway, we got a tournament to win.
That I don't even know what to say. That was just such an incredible display of Fortnite by a single human.
And Nate Hill and Funk, what are they thinking? FaZe, you got a good one. FaZe, you picked up Sway. I mean, that is a solid one. I you know, from skipping school last Friday to now here, how many 28 eliminations at the end
For a single player.
for a single player in solo squads?
It seemed like there was
I
just
am
nothing.
dumbfounded.
It's like there was just nothing they couldn't do.
Unbelievable, unbelievable.
Guys, I have an update here.
Tell me, Landon, I can't take it.
There's been a development.
There has been a development. Sway and Valkyrie won.
Oh my
my
gosh!
God.
And you saw Nate Hill and Funk. They were sitting there. Yeah, he's got to get.
You know,
He's got to get 15 to tie
And then they were
it.
doing the math, like, okay, based on that math, he would have been one
Oh,
short.
I'm
But he
like-
did it.
Look,
That was incredible.
I'm quick to count people out. I counted them out. He moved forward. Valkyrie, take those viewers back. Pop the stream up again. And start. Let's get it going. Valkyrie left. Oh, how did she feel?
Is that
Chat, phase up,
correct me
baby.
if I'm wrong.
Oh
is,
my
is that
gosh.
a Friday Fortnite record for individual kills by one player?
That-
I-
That
as
very
far
well
as I
may
know,
be
that
the
is.
most eliminations by a single player
Going back, I
we've
mean,
ever had in Friday Fortnite.
It's been a year.
I don't-
Ninja was probably the closest one. I know we had actually at the time we had a squad record set, so I don't know.
It seemed like one of those things where, like, you know, like, okay, like, you know, the teammate quit. Like, you could see just Funk Bomb's just drinking the Starbucks. Like, everything is looking just nice and chill.
Valkyrie leaves.
We're up by, he's got to get 17 million just to win. Like, we're good. And then all of a sudden, like, okay, a few kills come here. Okay, the lobby's still pretty slow. Like, okay, another squad wipe here. Okay, he's at 15. Like, okay, he's almost at 20. Like, that's a lot of kills. Like, if only. Then we're like, okay, more players are alive. Another squad wipe. And then next thing you know, 28, and then they win.
Oh my. Okay.
I was in the frame of mind that, like, it wasn't
goodness.
possible. Then it happened.
I like how
It
we're
happened.
not like,
Oh.
oh my gosh, she does it. It's just like, what did we just see? Like, what was that? I
Sway,
can't.
baby.
I think of an adjective. I can't think of one. There's.
FaZe up.
That's not really an
We've been
adjective. But I'll take it.
bamboozled, hoodwinked.
Oh my gosh, guys! I have no idea what just happened. If you guys would like to feel free to use an adjective to describe that, I'm all ears. I'm all open for that. But what a performance that was! Is literally a one-man wrecking crew, as we will see Sway and Co. make it on to the next round. I have no idea what to think anymore. That was probably one of the most impressive performances that we have seen in Friday Fortnite history. We all thought it was over. Even his own teammate thought it was over. Valkyrie, let's fire back up the stream. Let's get those viewers back. Maybe even start to host Sway. He literally, at the end of the game, he's calling out asking, did I win? Is anyone in this Discord call? Is anyone here right now? I have no idea. He was definitely silent at that moment. But guys, what a moment that was, as more losers bracket action is to continue. But what a play that was. Like we said, guys, we'll be back with more action here in Friday Fortnite 2019, week number 2. We'll be right back.
It seems like I am quite quenched for thirst. Time for sponsor! G Fuel sponsor! You may have seen me sip on these bad boys for quite a while. And you may be wondering, what is he actually drinking there? Is that part of some conspiracy? No, it's not, okay? This is genuinely great sponsor. G Fuel, everybody. There's so many delicious flavors. Wow, epic. Golden apple pear. Beautiful. Rainbow sherbet. Kiwi strawberry. Try it out. See if you like it.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Friday Fortnite 2019, week number 2. Of course, we are live here from the UMG studio. Myself, Lennon Leno Sanders, joined in part by Taylor Reflections, Noble Ryan, a.k.a. Ryan Fools. What a performance that we just witnessed, guys. That was FaZe coming out 1v2, finishes off with, what was it, Ryan? 28 eliminations?
28 kills.
Like, we were casting it like, oh, you know, this is great. Oh, yeah, he has to find every single kill. Like, that's really going to happen, like, being realistic. He did it. Like, that was one of the most incredible moments, I think, in Friday Fortnite history.
It's massive, right? I mean, if you're thinking about Sway and how much he just went off, right? I mean, it's huge. It's huge. And he impressed everyone out in the chat. The chat was freaking out because, like, Sway was not intended to win that.
Oh, I mean, no, not at all. Like, no one thought that.
Funk?
Like, yeah, like they were both
Nate
like,
Hill,
oh, darn.
15,
whatever.
like, they were
Which,
sipping on their
understandable.
Starbucks coffee.
Yeah.
You're up 15. You're thinking, easy, right? There was only like 17 or 18 in the bag. I do want to point out that reboot van was used over by Diner. And I do think because that reboot van came into use, that was the reason why he was able to sustain enough eliminations to win that game. So if it wasn't for that reboot, I don't think he would have won.
Let's look at a few of these highlights really quick here, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely incredible performance. We talked about it earlier. That might have very well been the single most eliminations by one player in all of Friday Fortnite, spanning back to the original Friday Fortnite as well. So like I said, it's just a crazy turn of events, one that looked like it was just so out of reach, and then at that point, kind of fun to watch. And then, as you said, it got closer and closer and closer and closer. Then it ended up actually happening.
Yeah, that was... If you didn't watch that, watch the VOD. Watch the YouTube video. It's going to be all over the internet. It's going to be on Reddit probably in just a few moments if it isn't already. We've got everybody watching the stream today. Tons and tons of viewers. Even Drake, for God's sake, is even watching this one. I think he might even tip his hat to FaZe up to this point. Just unbelievable stuff. And I looked at the chat and I asked, you guys, like, hey, give an adjective to describe what we just saw from Sway. And the number one that I saw was majestic. I like that one.
Majestic.
That's the only way that you can really describe something like, I mean, that was just insane, like shot after shot, just not missing a beat, trap play after trap play, quick little, instant reaction shots coming in with the combat and taking a few bushes along the way, man. 28 eliminations. One particular moment in Friday Fortnite history that's going to go down.
Yeah, definitely so. Look at that matchup, though. I mean, in losers round 5. He's got to go against now Camo and Issa. The runner-ups from last week, that's going to be a tough matchup. And then, of course, Nick Merckx and Nia waiting for their opponents on the bottom. Dubs and Mega versus Typical Gamer and Thieves. It's been a matchup we've kind of been waiting for as well, and that is going to be an awesome one, given the fact that both of these teams didn't perform exceptionally well last week. And now, all of a sudden, this week, they turn on the afterburners. They come through big, and now they're making it through losers despite losing over in winners. And Myth and Poach awaiting their competitors as well. Loving the competition and loving what I'm seeing.
Yeah, look at that bottom side, too. If you look at who Dubs and Typical Gamers teams both had to beat, right? They both had to go through two incredibly tough duos, right? Yeah. Obviously, Dubs and Mega beating Mr. Savage and Benji, obviously your favorite coming into this. On the bottom side, you see Typical Gamer and FaZe Thieves beating Aiden and Gorba, duo that we know is always incredibly strong, especially in these kill race formats. So I'm definitely looking forward to kind of seeing those two teams collide on the bottom side of the bracket. And from there, of course, they move on to play Myth and Poach, who we know are, of course, both very, very formidable opponents as well to make it this far.
Let's go and list out a few predictions as well, like in regards to that losers round 5 game. FaZe, Valkyrae versus Camo and Issa. I know we're still waiting for Valkyrae to kind of come back. I know she thought the game was over, and so did we. I will say, I mean, based off just the names, I would think kind of in general, kind of defending runner-ups, if you will, Camo and Issa probably going to take that one. But based off that performance we saw from Sway, I don't know, guys. I mean, he was a one-man wrecking crew. 28 kills for a team combined after one game would be impressive, let alone by a single player. I don't know, but what are our thoughts on that first round 5 game?
I mean, honestly, you got to be loving what you're seeing. Sway, if he turns up like I know he can, obviously, Camo and Issa is going to have their hands full. But Camo and Issa, they can turn up, and they love the salty drops. And that's something that I do believe Sway and Valkyrae, they like as well. So there could be kind of a conflicting style between those two. With that being said, though, Camo and Issa is still a favorite if you had to rate both of them going into it. They're obviously going to have to play off host. So is Sway and Valkyrae, right? But so it's even playing field. It's going to be an interesting one. But Camo and Issa, I think, are going to walk away with that one. On the bottom of the bracket, Typical Gamer and Thieves going against Dubs and Mega. It's kind of mixed for me. I want to see both teams do well. Dubs and Mega, I want to see them perform to the best of their abilities like I know they can. But Typical Gamer Thieves, that OG Friday Fortnite duo, I want to see them push forward as well.
Well, like I said, Brian, we're obviously hopping into this one. I know before we even see anything else, kind of thoughts coming into this match. I know Dubs and Mega have been a big pick that you've been looking out for a while.
Yeah, definitely. This is one of the teams that kind of looking at the bracket, I kind of favored all the way through. Of course, one of the biggest, performing duos so far, at least in the World Cup, right? So you gotta imagine they're gonna do a lot of work against some public match players, of course, in some of these lobbies. So definitely one of my favorites coming into it. Of course, we've seen time and time again what Thieves and Typical Gamer can do, dating back to even kind of season 1 of Friday Fortnite. So definitely a fantastic matchup. Of course, kind of just taking a look at what we can see so far. Not a ton of kills on either side. We're seeing one member with 2 and one member with 3. Not necessarily kind of what we're used to seeing out of both these teams, I would say, but knowing these guys, as the storm starts to close in, as circles get smaller, they're going to start to turn up. You can see Mega with a couple players in front of him. I think you're going to see more action very soon.
Definitely should be the case. Like we said, Mega firing off quite a bit when it comes down to Mega Ball. 3 eliminations to his name, and quickly could start to capitalize his Dubs just from the outside, firing away as well, providing some support shots, trying to get rid of that structure. Seeming to play pretty well. It looks as if someone might have just used an impulse, possibly from behind, or I think that might have been the enemy who threw that one. It definitely kind of shocked Dubs a little bit. Sniper shot ruins the builds, but it's not going to stop Mega from being on the hunt. Glad to redeploy, maybe accidentally utilized from the opponents, but still, FaZe is putting on the pressure.
Finally breaking down the build. I was waiting for him to do that. Unfortunately, no one's going to be home, but it is going to give an opportunity to push forward, especially with Mega coming through and getting the full squad wipe. And that's going to be 3 or 4 to his name, and more to come. Of course, being next to Mega, you also have the slipstream, so they're going to be able to rotate through.
And I like that kind of just the way they played that, right? You saw Mega kind of up in there, getting those close range engagements. Meanwhile, his teammate was behind him, offering that support fire. So definitely love to see that when 2 teammates kind of play together the way they did, and it works out so beautifully.
Also tossing out a few of the utility, and it looks as if Mega, another knock, finalizing the kill. Good night to John Wick, and at the same time, Thieves down for the count, unfortunately does get fully eliminated. So Typical Gamer put in a pretty awkward spot as we now get to check out their point of view. They're hanging out in Neo Tilted. Like I said, a little bit of a delay, so we'll see exactly how this fight ends up breaking down. We'll see from Typical Gamer's perspective what exactly ends up going through. But if you notice, the top right of our screens, I don't see another arrow. So they might have split up.
Did he just, was he in the slipstream and then jumped and a ball coming at him midair in the other side of the slipstream? That was very, very impressive.
Yeah. These players have kind of locked on that strategy, and I don't know how they do it. I can't do it personally. So my strategy, I knock the ball out of the slipstream, and then I hop in it. I can't do it while it's in the slipstream, but very talented, and a lot of stuff going down. Mega is going to drop, and he's going to be fully eliminated. Thief still down himself. Typical Gamer trying to come to the rescue, and actually, yeah, Typical Gamer's going to go down himself, so now it is going to be all up to Dubs. Let's see what happened.
Yeah, we'll see exactly what went through here for Typical Gamer. Like we said, a Sting Bomb tossed out, not really affecting him all that much. Still has that tack shotty. Looks as if there are going to be a few enemies just in front of him. No builds, nothing really to work with. Unfortunately, resources are slim, too many enemies, and it looks as if he probably will get collapsed on.
I
You hear, like,
had to go all in.
Yeah, you hear, and I had to go all in. I had to try to make something happen. So with that being the indicator, checking the scores, that is going to be Dubs and Mega sitting pretty. I'm not sure. I was going to say that might be game 2. It sounds as if that will be the case. So Typical Gamer and Thieves, just another team that does get taken down by the young FaZe duo. Like we said, these guys didn't have the greatest performance last week, but boy, are they showing up now.
Absolutely, and I love to see it because, like I said, they were very talented. We were all talking about them in week 1. Now in week 2, they're starting to make their way forward, beating out an OG team, Typical Gamer and Thieves, and maybe in a quite convincing way, because as soon as Typical Gamer and Thieves dropped, they knew immediately, hey, GG, and they even said as before they left, I hope you guys win the whole thing.
And I was going to say, too, one thing that I really was liking a lot about this particular matchup was that it's the definition of new school and old school, right? We talk about Typical Gamer and Thieves, 2018 week 2 champions, the guys who kind of initiated the mirroring strategy, guys who like to kind of, follow the enemy, kind of do a lot of things that maybe a lot of the fans out there weren't always the happiest with, but they were always willing to do whatever it took to try and become champions. So the fact that they come out top 32 last week, a much better performance here is great to see. But like we said, these guys, these talented young guns, I know obviously NRG no longer in it, but even the Ghost guys, obviously here now with Dubs and Mega, they are making strides. I mean, we was talking about Jarvis and his teammate, like Sway. Like, these guys are just so unbelievable. It's so hard to compete against them. So with that in mind, it's just, I mean, it really is a sight to behold. And as we even start to kind of call out a few things, we're just watching Sway hang out and obviously showing off his skills when it comes down to building. By the way, guys, this is on a controller.
Yeah.
That's a controller.
Yeah,
I don't understand anything. But like I said, like getting back to the point, man, it's just a matter of these guys have such incredible talent. It's a marvel. It really is. It's a sight to behold. It's like you mentioned earlier. It was like painting a picture. It was like beautiful music.
Poetry in
Poetry in
motion.
motion. There you go. That's a very accurate way to describe that. That's like, and you can't really describe it too many ways.
And your point, just talk about all those players you mentioned are all on FaZe. So big shout out to the FaZe scouting when it comes to Fortnite, because obviously just so much of the tournament, you see the brackets progress, just FaZe. So definitely big shouts to them for the scouting they obviously do. They have a fantastic roster, and of course it's showing here today.
It definitely is. The Young Guns are showing up. Do they look good to take the entire title? Well, we'll have to definitely see if that can be the case. But guys, like we said, we're going to throw it to a quick commercial break. Friday Fortnite will return right after this.
Building a fortress, and we thought it was stronger, keeping your distance. I thought we were better. We can try to hide from the pain by building our castle. We can build them again and again, and we can feel nothing. And I know that you're feeling alone, and we can do better. So help me to break through the storm. Help me to break through.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Friday Fortnite, of course, live here from the studio. Quick little commercial break, but we're back, and we're better than ever. We're feeling great. Like we said, another losers bracket game still to come. But what a tournament it has been up to this point, guys. Like we said, we've seen some interesting, kind of surprises. We've seen some young guns start to continue their dominance from week 1 now into week 2. I am just so interested to see exactly how the rest of these matches are going to go, because we have so many talented teams still alive in the losers bracket. I mean, I don't even know how to predict this.
I know, right? And this is how it always turns out. The losers bracket is insane, and whoever battles through the losers bracket has got to face the qualifier team there at the end of Grandma and D's, and we've seen that they can put up some incredible numbers. So honestly, that's kind of like the final boss, if you will, of the losers bracket, and I think a very fitting one indeed with how good that they are. But even coming down to these matches here, I mean, you still have Nick Mercs and Neo. You still have Myth and Poach that you have to get through.
I would say Dubs and Mega actually, so I don't think it's updated on the bracket.
Oh, that's right.
Dubs and Mega just took them down, so that'll be the next match.
I mean, but that's going to be a powerhouse of a match. And then, of course, still waiting from Sway, Valkyrie, and Camo and Issa, which we should be able to hop into that game and watch it. But That's going to be an interesting one to say the least. I got to say, if Sway and Valkyrie move forward on that and beat out Camo and Issa and knock them out of the tournament, it's going to be a huge upset.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, the question becomes, can Sway kind of recreate that performance that we saw out of him in the last match? You guys are seeing
I don't think it's legal to ask that again.
Right, like you're seeing a few of the replays right here. I mean, just put on, potentially, like I said, the record-breaking performance in Friday Fortnite. It was absolutely incredible to watch. Poetry in motion, we have actually deemed it here in the UMG studio. Incredible by him to just continue to wipe squad after squad when it looked like it was almost impossible. He ended up doing it. Again, the question becomes, though, you're playing against, one of the best teams, not only just in this tournament, but one of the best teams in the world when it comes to Fortnite. So definitely a tall task in front of them.
I mean, we've been seeing, Camo and Issa's name be brought up more and more as the, Fortnite World Cup has been kind of a thing. We obviously saw them play, incredibly well last week, losing. And I will say, if one particular fight does not go their way, we're talking and saying, hey, they are defending champions. Because, obviously, for those who do remember last week's grand final, it came down to a random moment where it was like, oh my gosh, Benji Fish and Mr. Savage, they're not looking really in the greatest situation. Wait a minute, Camo and Issa, they both go down. And so it was like a very kind of brief moment where, like we said, we're kind of talking about this, and that grand final was so close. This is not going to be an easy task by any means for Sway and Valkyrie, but like we said, if we can see him kind of continue this performance, continually taking down bushes like that, Taylor, they could be in a pretty good spot here. We could see an upset possibly go down.
Well, we are in the queue. Sway, Valkyrie giving the waves back and forth, and you love to see it. I guess that's Issa and Sway for the time being. So, hey.
It's nice little, friendly, good luck.
I like it. Oh, my favorite dance. And, unfortunately, I didn't buy that.
It's your favorite? You didn't buy it?
I didn't buy it.
Yeah, what's your favorite?
Star Power is my favorite, actually, if I had to be real.
All right, just casually switching up favorites, all good.
Honestly, I can never make up my mind. You know these things. But I can always make very bold predictions on who's going to be in the finals.
That is
Would
what
you like to start that
best.
now, Taylor? Would you like to start that off right here?
What I'm going to take.
I'm going to take, we'll do that another time.
You got to give us a bold prediction here. Hot take.
Hot take. Camo and Issa move forward in this match.
Wow.
Yeah,
never
of course.
expected that.
Hey, listen, Valkyrie, you should know this, right? Camo and Issa, they run salty, and this is what I was kind of talking about. Both of these teams love to go salty, so there's going to be this huge dynamic. A lot of eliminations to be had. And if they split these eliminations, whoever tends to go here, it's going to come down to rotations in the end. So rotations are going to be critical if you want to beat a team such as Camo and Issa.
And all four members are going to be dropping together. We don't see that too often. Again, sometimes in the hot drops, you're going to see Camo getting beat to the punch, going to get a nice little swing of the hammer in there, but not going to be enough as he searches for a weapon. See Issa right alongside him right now. Got to let him through the door first, and he's found the tac shotgun. It's going to be all he needs in the beginning to start the party off.
And I was going to ask you guys, do you like, regardless of the salty play, I think this actually could work out pretty well considering FaZe, Sway, and Valkyrie. If you're here, you can kind of take away the initial beginning of Ghost. You're kind of like almost halting them back a little bit because you have the same access to the fights that they do. So, in your guys' opinion, do you think this was a situation that might work out pretty well considering?
I think it could. You get the mirror. Obviously, those are eliminations that you need to get yourself. They land at bottom, and I don't think they've found anybody over there as of yet. Well, actually, excuse me, they won't be in a fight here. Trying to drop down below. Finally comes into the Lion's Den, and for that player, he's going to lose it. Sway comes through big. Now it's about rotating. I'm trying to get down to Dusty as quick as I possibly can. And then once I'm down to Dusty, I'm going to go up to Diner, use the slipstream. I'm going to head over towards Mega Mall. I'm going to head over towards Loot, maybe even Neo Tilted. This is the aggression you have to utilize if you want to beat Camo and Issa.
And this is the conversation we constantly have, Ryan. It's a matter of, hey, if all four teams go towards Salty Springs, who is the first team to leave? Which is, of course, what Taylor was mentioning. Like, who is the first team to initiate toward Mega Mall, to initiate toward Dusty Divot? It could be an interesting dynamic, and like I said, another possible positive that Valkyrie and Sway could have.
Yeah, the name of the game in the kill race format is always rotations, 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 right? Who can rotate the fastest? Who can make, sometimes you never really know necessarily where some of the players in the lobby are going to end up, but it's more so about who can navigate the map the best because, of course, players are always going to naturally be pretty